Thanks, Maurice.
Our agenda for tonight, we will go over the roles. Who is the general evaluator tonight?
You know what, I missed that too.
Okay, who's the speech evaluator then?
Tyler.
Okay,
I'm evaluating you guys.
all right. And I assume is that the only speech for tonight, only prepared speech for tonight?
That's right.
Okay, so would you mind doing the general evaluator also?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks, Tyler.
Is there a form for general evaluation?
No, there's not a form. You just discuss your thoughts on the meeting, how it was run.
Yeah, it started on time. We discussed club business.
Okay.
And what I'm about to do, I'm about to go over the roles again. So as well, I'll start with the grammarian and all counter. If they're well, whether they're the same person or not. Okay, the all counter for tonight.
I am Olivia and I'm the all counter, and what I will be looking for is the use of filler words such as and so, like things of that nature. I will count them, and when it gets to that time, I will give a report for all speeches and evaluations.
All right, thank you. The grammarian I see is Heather.
Yes. As grammarian, I'll keep track of proper uses of English language and improper uses, as well as track of the word of the day, which is footle, and it means to engage in fruitless activity, to mess around.
All right, the timer for tonight will be Joe.
The timer for the prepared speeches, the time you get green is 5 minutes. When it turns yellow or amber, that means wrap it up. It's 6 minutes. 7 minutes is red, which means it's really time to wrap it up. Table topics is 1 minute to a minute and a half to 2 minutes. Then the first evaluator, or the prepared speech evaluation, is 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes.
All right, thank you, Joe. And then the table topics master for tonight will be Cheyenne.
So I will have a list of questions, and I will call for a volunteer, and then we do the question, and then you would give your 1 to 2 minute speech based on the question that I give you.
All right, thank you. At this time, without any further ado, I would like to introduce the first speaker. And the speaker has been a Toastmaster for over a year, or approaching a year, over a year. And tonight, the title of his speech is Meditations on Food. So our speaker for tonight will be Diego.
Thank you, Maurice. My fellow Toastmasters, tonight I want to share with you a few of my thoughts that I have about food, and in particular, our culture and our relationship with food in particular. I think what inspired me to start reflecting on this topic is the recent habit I've developed as a student to eat out more. And I think that emerges out of a sense that I can't waste any part of my day cooking food, enjoying it, and then getting back to my studies. The big convenience that comes with eating out is how quickly the food is served, the taste of the food, and how quickly I can return back to my work and not have to waste energy or mental decision-making power to think about, okay, what meal do I want to have tonight? What ingredients do I need tonight? How long is it going to take? All of those decision-making, all of that mental energy on my part is being shunted off and being passed on to the responsibility of someone else, usually Chipotle, in my opinion. Chipotle's taken over my culinary appetite as of late. But with many decisions that we make, there are also costs that come with that. And that statement couldn't be truer when it comes to economics, which is what I learned. When we choose to pass on our responsibilities of what we want to eat tonight to a fast food chain, or a non-fast food chain for that matter, a big factor that cost comes with that is the money that we spend on that, period. Why else do you think that Chipotle can charge $7 for a burrito bowl? It's not because the food is expensive. It's because they have to make a profit, and some part of that money that you are spending for that food is the time that you are saving rather than cooking the food on its own. And I think that is a really huge appeal for many people, including myself, to spend a little bit of money in order to not think about the food that we're going to eat. And I think, and I am not the saint. I'm a hypocrite in my own way of encouraging myself and you all to think about what type of relationship you have with food, because I'm old habits die hard. Tomorrow I'm probably going to buy Starbucks again, with the full knowledge knowing that a $4 mocha is not, in my opinion, does not match the price, the quality of the coffee, in my opinion. But I don't need to exercise what I preach in order to ask you all to reflect on what type of relationship you have with food, what type of relationship you have with fast food chains, or with Starbucks, or with Carpe Diem, all these types of food suppliers that have become rather commonplace in our society. And I think this comes back to the American culture and psyche that we have of always wanting to continue to work. We want to continue working during our lunch break because we want to appear productive for our bosses, for our coworkers. And I think it's important for all of us tonight to reflect on what kinds of opportunities or mindsets or paradigms do we lose by choosing to subscribe to the American mindset of always working hard, continuing to work during lunch break, and not having a chance to enjoy the food that we prepare on our own, or the company that we enjoy when we eat our food. I think a big reason that I've been able to succeed with my studies is because my parents go out of their way to cook a really delicious meal on the weekends. And I consistently make an effort to remind my mom of what a delicious meal she has served for me and my dad at the house. Because it takes energy and it takes time. My mom is a professor at the University of South Alabama. And it takes a lot of mental energy for her to get through each day. And I recognize that because I don't want to cook my own meal, I know that she is spending her time, her energy to cook a delicious meal for us. And it would be very wrong for me or my dad not to express our appreciation and our gratitude to her for her willingness to continue to power through beyond 5 p.m. and cook a nice meal for us. Because it would just be easier for her and for us to just buy Panera that night or to have a Chipotle that night. So folks, Toastmasters, I share with you these meditations on food that I have. I'm highlighting my relationship that I have with food in order to encourage you all to reflect on what type of relationship you have with takeouts and fast food chains, and to think about maybe it's not that bad to cook a meal at home and to save on that money and spend a little bit more time in thinking about that food tonight. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you there, Diego. At this time, we'll move on to our table topics since we don't have a second prepared speech. And our table topics master for tonight will be Cheyenne.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. So my theme for the night is summer fun. I know that it might not be everyone's favorite season, but it's mine. So I was just wanting to collect some information and see what you guys thought about it. So how I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for a volunteer and then I'll read you the question. All right. So your question is, this one's just for you. Do you have any songs that remind you of the summertime?
Do I have any songs? I think 3 just pops in my mind, but I'm just a musical person. That's what I do. My coworkers at work and my employees, they often say, you can make a song to anything, and I do. But when she asked the question, or when I was asked the question, what song do I think of? And I just thought of Summer Breeze Makes Me Feel Fine. So that was the song that I thought of. But as I said, there are many songs that I think of because I literally wake up singing those songs. I wake up singing, my last thought is a song. So it's just what I do.
I mean, I have certain songs that I've maybe played a lot that summer, or a popular song on the radio that when I hear it, it may not talk about summer, but it brings me back to that time, and I think of who I was with the last time I heard it. So, do I have another volunteer? Mr. Gates? Okay. You find a mysterious bottle on the shore with a message inside. What does it say?
So if I found a mysterious bottle, I would have wanted to say something interesting, of course. But I remember at a time that we actually did find a bottle one time. I had a message in it. And it was like, we were on a senior trip in high school. And I know Cheyenne was on the senior trip. I don't know if she was with us in this group when we found this bottle. But basically it was in like Spanish, and it was something about like a woman like, you know, breaking up with a boyfriend or something, but also having another boyfriend, and then tricking the two into getting into a fight. And it was very long and dramatic. We had like one person with us who could read it fairly well. So it was interesting, but you know, mostly just kind of dramatic. It didn't lead to anything. But if I found a bottle, and if I could decide what the note said, I would definitely want it to lead to some treasure. That would be awesome. Like, who wouldn't? That'd be it.
I would just hope the message would be just a wedding lottery ticket. No, I don't need any more words. Or just a check that I already signed. Next volunteer. Diego?
Yep.
Okay. If you could make up a new ice cream flavor, what ingredients would you use and what would it be called?
Cheyenne asked me a very, very unexpected question, which is really great, of table topics. And that is, what ice cream flavor would I invent? So the first thing that comes to mind is combining mint chocolate chip with pecans, because I think that is a really good combination, because I like the pecan vanilla by itself, but I also like the mint chocolate, and so putting them together, that would be a true sensation of the taste buds that could not be matched by any other singular ice cream flavor unto itself.
What would you go?
Rocky Road pecan mint flavored chocolate. I'm gonna leave it at that. Thanks, Table Topics Master.
Okay, next. Volunteers. Alright, Maurice. Let's see. If you could go anywhere for a dream summer vacation, finances not a problem, where would you go?
Before I get into my table topic, what does the word footle mean again?
It means engages in fruitless activity or messes around.
So my favorite place that I would go, money no object, during the summer. There are actually quite a few places, but for the sake of time, I'll try to name one quickly. I would go to Hong Kong, which is one of many places, not just Hong Kong, just for the sake of time, but I've never been on that side of the world before. I've been to Europe, so I've been to 2 continents during my lifetime. But one of the places I would like to go is Hong Kong, and maybe I could fool around with the culture and learn new things about that side of the world. So that would be at least one place I would go, money no object. Madam Topic Master.
Okay. Let's see. What would be the question? If there was a tropical island made just for you, what would be found on it?
If there was a tropical island just for me, you may find on it lots of food. I really like a bunch of different varieties of food. So there'd be lots of different fruit trees, but not just that. There'd be all kinds of food, like from around the world and stuff. Besides that, you would find I used to live on a tropical island, and there were lots of mountains and stuff, and rainforests and beaches. So those are kind of the things you find on the islands. But if it was like just for me, or if it was like tailored for me or something, I don't know. I guess it would have a bunch of different fun things to do, and there'd be lots of music, and there'd be a couple Toastmasters clubs, and that would be the things on the island that I would know.
Thank you. Food. I would have many mom and pop New York pizza slices, stores, New York pizza stores, and Dunkin' Donuts. Any other volunteers? We have time for a couple more. One more volunteer?
Oh, I'll take one. If no one else does.
Would you like to go?
I guess so.
Okay.
Joe.
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 Okay. Do you prefer pool time or beach time?
So I was tasked with the question of, do I like pool time or beach time? I would say I like beach time, because pool time you're in a kind of in a group of people in a man-made area, and beach time you get to see nature, you get to see everything that it has to offer, and kind of go and come as you please. You can walk down the beach, you're not walking on concrete, you're walking on sand and seeing the waves and the sun and everything it has to offer. At a beach or at a pool, you see concrete, kids running around, and kind of people just screaming and misbehaving. So I think if I had to decide, I'd choose a beach over a pool.
I would say I agree with that, but there's nothing better than being hot from the beach and then going jumping into the pool, even though they say you're supposed to wash off or something. Do you have homework?
We do.
Okay. What is, I think a good one for you.
They weren't good up until this moment.
No, like a real good one. Real good one. Let's see. What is your most memorable summertime ever?
Most memorable summertime wasn't actually my happiest summertime, but it's just the one that I remember the most. And I was in Little Rock, Arkansas. I was 9 years old, and we went, that's when I learned to jet ski and water skiing. What else did we do? Well, of course, we were camping, so we were staying outdoors, and there was a stream, and that was many years ago, so we could just drink from the stream. The water was really crisp. What makes it the most memorable, outside of all of those adventures, was the lady that was my chaperone, I guess you would call her, and her name was Michelle. And I've looked for many years for the book that she wrote and that she gave me. Can't find it somewhere. I moved a couple times since I was 9, so I have to look for that book. But anyway, I always wonder where she is. She looks like you too, so real dark, but her hair was a little bit longer. And if I was 9, she may have been in her early 20s or something like that. But I always wondered where she was.
Alright, so that concludes our table topics. Thank you guys for volunteering, lovely. And I would like to relinquish the lectern back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Cheyenne. And if there was a new ice cream that I would invent or create a name for, it would be Lickety Split. Go and lick it and split. But
What flavor is that?
What would they taste like? What would it taste like? Well, I don't know, with all this going on now, there's too much licking and splitting.
At this time, we will go into the general evaluation period, and our general evaluator for tonight will be Kyler.
Hello, everyone. I'm Toastmasters and honored guest. I'll be our general evaluator for tonight. Remind me again, do I start with speech evaluations first, or do I start with general evaluations first?
You can start any one that you want, but just
Okay.
be sure you go through every part of it, the speech evaluation, the general evaluation, and the reports from the timer, the all counter, the grammarian,
Okay.
and
Well,
timer.
Okay, I'll start with I guess I'll start with the Diego's speech, and then we'll move into general. And then we'll do that. So Diego's speech was awesome. I loved it. It was very interesting. I feel like we're on the same wavelength. You're always like talking about things that I need to be aware of, and I'm like, I need to do that. I'm glad Diego said that. And then, because that's something I personally struggle with a lot, is like, I don't have time to get good food. You know, I'll go to McDonald's and pay $2 and, you know, get basically a fried piece of cardboard and eat it and, you know, keep going. You know, and, you know, Cheyenne's always reminding me, you know, like, you know, you eat at home, it's actually cheaper, it's better for you. So it's good for me to hear stuff like that, and the, you know, taking time to, because how that relates to our society, you know, is kind of like one singular tone, and some people just sound that way, and that's fine. But it's just like a challenging point to push yourself. I would just recommend, like, you know, higher and lower tone that you think about as you're talking. So, but overall, it was an excellent speech. I really enjoyed it. So, going to move on to the general evaluation. We were good. We started on time. The only thing that really stood out to me is that the American flag wasn't in its place, and we had to kind of fumble to figure out where it was. But that's okay. That really, I don't think that would be Toastmasters' fault. I think whoever moved it in the first place, we could put the blame on them. But if I was going to, point out anything, I would say that we were really quick to assign roles and figure things out last minute, and everything is moved very smoothly. Excellent work from the Toastmaster, and overall, I feel like we've had a pretty good meeting this today. So I'm going to start with our reports now. Let's see, we will start with our timer, which will be Joe.
So on the only prepared speech we had tonight was Diego. He went 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And we go on to the table topics. We have Olivia at 32 seconds. We have Kyler at 52 seconds. We have Diego at 46 seconds. We have Maurice at 53 seconds. We have Heather at 1 minute and 22 seconds. We have myself at 23 seconds. And we have Olivia again at 1 minute and 19 seconds. And then for the Diego speech evaluation, we have Kyler at 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Awesome, thank you. Next we have our grammarian.
Diego, you used this word, shunted, and I can't remember how exactly you used it, but I just noticed when you used it, and I thought that was interesting because I haven't heard that word a lot. You also said, I think during your table topics, when you were talking about ice cream, you phrased something and you said it would be a true sensation of the taste buds. I don't know, it just seemed like you were being kind of eloquent. So, props to you. Maurice, you used the word of the day, so good job. I think you're the only person that used the word of the day, actually. And I thought lickety split, I thought that was funny. And it sounds like an ice cream flavor, but besides that, the fact that you were you lick it and then you split, that's pretty creative. And then Olivia, I liked that when you were giving your a table topic, you said that you described the water as crisp, and it just made me feel like I could imagine what it tasted like, and I thought that was a good use of language.
Thank you. Last but not least, we have our odd counter.
Okay, for our counter, Diego, you had one and one Olivia, on your first table topic, I counted one. Kyler, you had 2 no's and 1 Diego, you had none. Maurice, none. And Joe, none. And then Heather, you had actually 7 and 2 uhs. But I know what it was. You were visualizing. So there were moments when you were trying to create what you were, the scene. So you had to pause for a minute. I caught myself when I was recreating my scene. I was almost about to get emotional because I really do want to see that. Anyway, so I caught myself with 3 ums. I may have had even more. Okay, Kyler, you were getting real relaxed. And that's all. Because I noticed that during your speech evaluation, you said some really great things, real good points, and you were really getting into the evaluation. So that was the most important thing, was for him to, not only for him to understand the evaluation and gain some feedback, but for also for you to enhance your abilities to be able to listen and critique. So, but here you go, because your report is a little. Okay, so you have 15 ums, one light, and your nose was another.
Oh, nice.
And then for your general evaluation, you had 6 ums, 1 and 1 us. So you were
Hey, it happens. It's
Yeah,
good to know.
exactly.
Because otherwise I wouldn't know.
Right, but it just, I could tell that you were relaxed and you were really honing in on making sure that what you were trying to express was being understood. So me listening for the ahs made it hard for me to hear what you were saying, but when I would zoom out of the ahs and listen to what you were actually saying to Diego, I learned from it. I hope that you did too. I think it was a great evaluation.
Thank you. All right. Well, with that, I will release the lecture over to the Toastmaster.
All right. Okay, I take it there are no awards tonight.
That's right. That's right.
No worse.
Okay, is there an educational overview tonight? Okay, Olivia will have an educational overview.
My educational overview, when I first noticed it reminded me of what Cheyenne music and my love for music. So, and I think that it's something that we probably don't pay a lot of attention to. And I'm going to relate when you and I were setting up, I was thinking, see, this is what you don't want to happen. No one was up here besides Diego and I. But my educational overview is know the setup. Arrive in time to check out the speaking area and get practice using the microphone and other visual aids. I've been a part of a music group since I was maybe 12 or 13 years old. Actually, when I first moved to Mobile, and I still am a member of that group. And we traveled all over the United States. So in traveling, before there was, oh, send me a picture or what have you, our director used to actually, okay, I need to get a visual of the stage, what it looks like, how many people I have going, if it's going to be 15 pieces or 25 piece, member group or choir. And that was important to know because things like the acoustics, the microphones, what to do, where you're going to put the drum set and things like that. So when it relates to public speaking, know your setup. Don't get there and think that you're, oh, I got this speech, I've been practicing, I nailed it, I got my time frame, I've learned how to captivate the audience, I've got my icebreaker, I'm going to open up with this saying, and I'm going to tell this story, and I got this great ending, and I found out different ways I'm going to engage the audience, I'm going to ask questions and tell a story. You've done all that preparation, and then you get up there, and you trip and fall because you didn't notice the step. Or your microphone doesn't work, and you begin to panic. These things happen a lot of times whenever we're getting ready to perform, for anyone. So my spotlight for today is take time to learn. Now, sometimes you're not going to, you won't be able to. But I always put a plan B in your mind. Okay, if I get up here and I was planning on wearing a microphone that I can just wrap around my ear because I want to turn pages or I want to have a show and tell, and then I get there and that device is not working, so now I'm having to hold the mic or things like that. So always plan, expect the unexpected when you're getting ready to speak, and always have a plan B, perhaps even a plan C. That's my education.
So with that, I would like to relinquish the lectern back to the president.
Thanks so much, Maurice. Man, folks, talk about a time-efficient meeting. Looks like we're going to get out early tonight, but before we call the meeting to an end, let's go ahead and take an opportunity to fill out Easy Speak for next week. Do we have any itching, raring to go people who want to do a prepared speech next week? Okay, we can come back to that. What about being the Toastmaster or the grammarian or the table topics tonight? Do we have any volunteers for those roles next week?
Take a hot counter.
Okay. Kyler's hot calendar. Keuler. Gotcha. We have slots available for, go ahead, Olivia.
I want to take general evaluator, please.
Okay. We have slots open for grammarian, education overview, table topics, Toastmaster as well.
I'll do educational overview.
Excellent. Thank you, Heather. Okay, Okay, one final call for Toastmaster, a prepared speech, table topics, and timer. Or grammarian.
Well, if I get a speech prepared, then I'll do a prepared speech.
Excellent.
And I'll take grammarian.
I believe you double dipper. Okay. I can be Toastmaster for next week. Okay, so it's 9:26. Let's let everyone out early tonight. Meeting adjourned.